The Windy City Showdown, May 16th through 18th, the Players' Championship. Something a little different today. Learn to play the Rumley way. I don't know about all that. Volcano Palms, Desert Valley, front and 17. Little something different today. We did a cycle with the Schlub House a few weeks back, and some of the guys wanted me to record things. Hi, this is Phil Rumley. So I chose 4 courses, and I'm going to kind of talk through how we do things, or how I do things, should I say. So I'm going to be talking fast, tell you what I see, what I'm thinking. So this is 131 to pin. So I know that the 2-iron is 122. So I'm going to go a little bit more. Missed almost entirely that action. So here we are on hole 2. Couple of ways to play things. You can maniacs the high loft driver or even the 3-wood to get it there. But this is a fun little shot I like. It's the O-Bird Torpedo. Bounce short, roll on. Little hook around, bounce short, roll on. Not the greatest of shots. The 3-wood maniacs probably would have been better. But yeah, so up and in. We're moving fast, so there's not a lot of time to talk through this. So I'm a huge javelin player, as everyone knows, and makes fun of me for that. So you got to know your distances with javelin. You got to know that this hole plays downhill just a little bit. So even though it's a little bit farther, it takes them off. Adjust for the left 2, so that's like 4 clicks. Adjust a little bit for the wind. And that one seemed to work out pretty well. Hole in one, yay. So this shot originated way back in the day from Johnny Bandit, who no longer plays the game. Hit down to the beach. Little Ranger up. You can, club up a few times and play the javelin. I'm not super familiar with it. So I like to, very rarely play the full wind, play the Ranger, know the distance, know how to get it on. Not the easiest of setups, but certainly not the hardest. As we've discussed, javelin guy, not a lot of room, and you got to bend it around to hit a javelin there. So I'm going to hit the high loft driver, take a little bit off, swing it around the trees, so pull back a little bit right. It's going to travel to the left. Hit a little bit right. That's the model of how Golden Tee works. You pull back right, it goes left. You pull back left, it goes right, etc., etc. Not the greatest of looks for me, Jav guy. A lot of guys love this shit with, they're low lofted snipers and such. I'm going to go up and over those trees on the right, which is very atypical, I think. Take some off, get a little bounce down. It was close, decent shot. Up and in. I am an aim putter. I do count the clicks, and people make fun of that too. But anytime I'm inside 20-ish feet, I'll just bang it in. Aim putting is a very important part of my game now because I miss a hell of a lot less putts. And we'll get to that in a moment, maybe, if there's time, but we are flying through. So this shot, everybody knows, just land on this little island peninsula. I like to take a lot off and jav, gross little bounce, whatever. Easy. So you see that 27 feet, 12 feet is what you're looking for. 27 right 4. So 12 times 2 is 24. You've got your two clicks times the right 4. So that's 8 clicks, maybe one more. And that is your turn putting. Divide your distance by 12 and then times it by the left or right break. So there. There you go. Not a hard setup. I'm not really sure why I chose this ball here, because that's a little crazy, but whatever. Not as aggressive as it could have been, but could have gone with the sniper. 15 under on the front. This is pretty decent, I would say. This shot, very easy. You want to go as far as you can. A lot of guys will bounce off that left hill to get a little extra distance. Mundane second shot in. Jab it every single time. Doesn't matter what the setup is, I'm jabbing this. Plays a touch uphill. Even though my brain knows that, I still took some off like a moron. So you want to just be safe. This shot, I like to jab a lot. Okay, so I jab off the tee quite a bit because the importance of where you place your drive is often as important as the approach itself. So very little flybys I do. You'll notice that. But I want to make sure that I've got enough room to land with the jab. If I don't, then I'm going some other thing. Take a little bit off. Make sure it's getting there. This is significantly uphill. I mean, everybody knows that. Good. I like this one because it looks like the 3-iron won't clear that mountain, but it will absolutely clear. So this is one of my favorite setups on this. Couple clicks out to the left because of the right 2. Take some off because it is downhill, even though it doesn't look like it. And the wind pushing. It's close, but it's not. Points. Moving on. So, nice little setup. Points, back-to-back holes. The ultimate of swing holes. So you got to kind of see where the pin is. And like I said, I don't do a lot of flybys. So I turn and I see the pin over to the right. So I know I'm going over to the right. Oftentimes I'll go to the left into that little island over there. But if the wind is pushing, I'll go straight out into the fairway. So I aim for that tree that's just under the eye right now. I know a lot of guys are just under my U right now. A lot of guys will bang it out way farther left of there. But I like to get the full opening. You see that opening right there? And that's that tree that's under that U. Okay? So now I can go through it without any obstructions. Low or high lofted club, you're going to go through that gap right there. So I'm going to take a touch off with that 7. Let the wind do some work. Close. You're not really going to hold that shot out much, but you don't want to get a par. You don't want to F around and find out. So this hole, pretty terrible. Don't like it. Rolled off the back about 1,000,000 times, so I really have to force myself not to jab these days. So just kind of want to get a birdie and move on. Moving on to 15, I like to go as far as I can up the fairway to give me as many options as I can going in to decide whether or not I'm going to do a stinger or whether or not I'm going to go traditional. Most of the time, I'm going traditional, and I'm playing the slope. You see me clicking. That's because of the left 6, so that's 12 clicks. The 4 with the wind, at your down to the right. Just kind of adjusting and trying to make my best guess as to how that's going to play. This is a fun little one. Another potential swing hole. But on this particular setup, I like to go to that third little fairway area right up there. Almost effed it up and went too far. But that way you're almost with a straight wind coming down. Club up. I'm going to go sniper just because, again, as you learn these courses, you javelin everything like I do, and you end up in the drink more times than you can. So, sniper, safe, on. A lot of guys would see this and they'd do a little 3-iron stinger or a 2-iron or whatever they do, Not me, because I know I'm good with the counting of the clicks, with the slope and the wind, and I'm pretty good at judging the distance. So I know that I'm gonna land above and fall back down. Little right swipe, ended up right at the pin. It was not close at all, but I knew what to do, knew how to do it. This is an in-between one because this is something that I would typically jav. I know that sounds crazy with a down 9, but there's not a ton of room. It's not all the way at the bottom. So I'm, you see a lot of hesitation here where I'm putting the gold tee, what my approach is, because I'm thinking, damn it, I have to sniper. So trying to find the best distance. This 16 is going to travel forever. Not a great shot, but up and in. Par for the round, 14, 29 overall for Volcano. So that just gives you a little insight. Goodness, we're moving fast. I'm talking a lot. Desert Valley, front, torpedo. 130, like I said, on Volcano 1, 122 is half of that. That's your 50%. So I'm adding 4%. I'm going to go 54 most likely. And I'm trying over and over again to get my 3 clicks just to get it right. I went 52 because it is a little bit, plays a little bit short. That worked out. So 4 clicks. It's a half a mile per hour per click. So it was 2 miles per hour. So that's 4 clicks with the 2-iron, with the 3-iron, same thing. This one plays way uphill, so I want a little bit of extra distance. Bronze tee gives a little bit extra lift. This one was my best guess, and it seemed to work. So here we are, 2 for 2. Good start. Good little start.
He's on fire!
Oh, shit. There we go. Didn't know that was coming. That's me way back when. I did a movie where I was a mob boss or whatever. So, yeah, a lot of guys would snipe this in a stinger fashion. I'm going to take some off because it's way downhill. Played that slope, right 3, 6 clicks. Didn't take enough off. Got the line pretty good. 3 for 3 in points, 2 for 3 in holeouts. So I'm playing pretty well. Oh my God, I hate this hole so much. Not a big Desert Valley fan. So on this setup, I'm going to maniacs between those 2 giant palms right there and under, supposedly, that little one. Then you're left with a Ranger up and into the green, but I haven't left myself very many options. So I know that the O-Bird generally will land about 260. So I'm gonna go with that. It's not gonna be good, and that's when I change to the 4-wood. But I got to go up and over those palms there. There's no real good shot here, and you'll see me hit a not very good shot here because there's not a lot of good options. Because I didn't put myself in a good spot. From the drive, like I was saying, the importance of your drive is oftentimes why I will hit a javelin off the tee, because I put myself exactly where I want. So I made it to the green. That's nice. 23-yard chip. I like to Ranger chip now, just so it comes out pretty exact. 1 click per degree. I've been told to add a click, so that was a 3. You go a 4. 4 clicks, and then your money. And then you want to add about 5 yards to a chip, traditionally. Depending on your lie, depending on the slope, etc., etc. But I like to add about 5 yards. Or 5%, should I say. 5%. Just to make sure. Not a great setup. You can jav traditionally, but when you have to take that much off, you kind of have to worry about bringing the trees into play. So played it long, brought it back. Everyone's favorite hole. You want to make sure your little red thing in the map is off the map. So I went at bronze tee, went off. Occasionally you'll give a click or two to make sure of the slope. Occasionally, but very rarely. Most of the time you're just straight in. Bang it 100%. Not a great setup. You throw it all the way as far as you can to the end of the fairway, as close as you can to that fringe. I'm going to have to bend it around this little mountain here, so pulling it a little bit right and throwing it a little bit right. And I'm hoping to catch fringe to slow it down. But I done fucked it up. So not a good swerve there. Ended up in the trap. Pretty sure, it was a couple weeks ago. I'm pretty sure I dropped a stroke. Yeah, I dropped a stroke here. Not a good chip, but okay. Still at one better. So this one, I'm playing through that gap where you see right there. You see the pin. You see the G. That's the gap. Gap G. And you want to find out where the best hole is in the gap to go through. That's what I'm kind of deciding right there. So I'm going over to the left so I can turn to the right and let the wind push it some. I'm going to use an orbit and try and be pretty aggressive here. Medium T, high T goes through. That was a pretty good guess on the percentage. So, very dangerous shot. Almost clipped the left trees, as you saw. So, not good. Hole 9, swinging around. Torpedo. I like to torpedo, get as far as you can. You can play over to the right fairway. Where it says sponsored by. You can go up and over with the Maniacs. But I generally like to just go this left route. I'm going to try a stinger. I like the 3-iron jab a lot because of the clicks we talked about earlier, but it goes forever. So you got to take a significant amount off. So here we go. A little misjudged, but here we go. Back didn't record. So unfortunately, that's what everyone wanted to see. But I did get a nice little shot on 17. So your O-bird, like we talked about earlier, goes about 260 when it lands. So I'm taking some off, hitting the sniper, give a little slide and a roll, and it worked out fairly well. So there we are. Pine Coast, Eagles Peak coming next. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.